Hey New York City buyers, there are 5 things that you need to do before you even think about looking at apartments or buying in New York City. And if you do these 5 top things before you go shopping, you will have a better experience and an easier transaction in an expensive and competitive market like New York City. I'm Dewey Moss, I'm your New York City real estate resource. Please take a moment to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button, and let's dive right in. Okay, the number one mistake that I see buyers making all the time is coming to the New York City market and thinking that it's going to be the same as any other market in the United States. They may already be seasoned buyers and have bought property outside of New York City, but I can almost guarantee you that they are surprised to learn that the process of buying in New York City is extremely different than buying in any other part of the country. So you have to be prepared, and there are 5 things that you can do to make sure that you're going to have an easier time with your transaction before you even start shopping for that dream home in New York City. Number 1 is to assemble your team. Now, the first person that you need to find to be part of your team is a great buyer's agent. This buyer's agent needs to really understand the entire buying process in New York City, understand data and analysis, and be able to help guide you through the process. A buyer's agent is invaluable in New York City to be competitive, and if they are a great agent, they're going to be giving you inside guidance that you can't possibly know about the New York market. In addition, they're going to help guide you through the entire process. So through that board application, which can be 1,000 pages long, and the board interview, all of those processes that you have to go through that are unique to New York City, a buyer's agent will advise you and become your partner throughout the entire process. So they are a key member of your team. They will also help you build out the rest of your team with people that they know will give you solid and good transactions in New York City. Those other 2 individuals are going to include an attorney, because New York State is an attorney state, which means that the attorneys take care of the contracts in our state. So you must have an attorney to do a real estate transaction. And the final person that you need on your team, if you're financing, is a great mortgage broker or mortgage representative from a bank. Now, I will caution you that that person should be very knowledgeable about the New York market. Oftentimes, I encourage all my clients to use someone in New York City. The reason is because they are very familiar with the process. They have done it. They usually have a list of approved buildings. They don't put the co-op boards through unnecessary questions and other processes. Even if you're using a bank nearby, but outside of the city, just slightly out of the city, it can cause issues. So I would caution you to choose a bank or a representative that is New York specific and really understands the market. Now, the next thing to do, number 2 on the list, is to get your finances in order. And your buyer's agent will help you do this to get all of your finances in order according to what kind of purchase you're going to make. It is no secret that in our city, the co-op boards ask for a lot of financial information and have very strict financial requirements. So you must get your finances in order. That starts with preparing a financial statement. And again, your buyer's agent will work you through all of these steps. But that financial statement is going to show just about everything about your finances that you have. I often get asked, hey Dewey, do we have to show, I don't know, X, Y, and Z? The answer is usually yes. You do have to show just about everything. And that financial statement is going to become the basis of your financial application for the boards in New York City. Now, a lot of people think that if you're buying a condo, you don't have to do a board application. That is not true. Most condos do require a board application, but the interview process is different. You don't have an interview with a condo purchase, but with a co-op, you do. And the way the approvals come in are different. So a great buyer's agent is going to guide you through all of that, but you must get your finances in order. You must also have proof of down payment funds. So some sort of bank statement or asset statement that shows what you're going to use for your down payment. You cannot wait until last minute or show that after the offer. It needs to be shown in the offer. So we reveal your finances, we reveal your down payment within the offer in order for the offer to be taken seriously in New York City. So you need to get your finances in order, and the best way to do that is to work with a professional that's going to guide you through that process. Now, the third step, if you are financing, is to get the pre-approval letter. The pre-approval letter in New York City must be included for any offer to be taken seriously. So you don't want to wait till last minute to do that. You don't want to get caught in a situation, particularly a competitive situation, where somebody else is ready with all their paperwork and you say, oh, well, I haven't done it yet. I need just a couple of days to get pre-approved. It may be too late. That's how fast the market can move, particularly in the hot periods where sales are moving quickly, or if you're looking in very competitive neighborhoods, such as out in Brooklyn or down in the West Village. Those offers move fast. And oftentimes, if you're not prepared, you're going to lose out. So you want to make sure that you get the pre-approval. Now, you want to be very upfront with your mortgage broker about the amount that you can spend. That amount is going to include your monthlies, your common charges. It's not just about your mortgage. So you need to understand what your finances are, and that mortgage broker is going to help you understand what you can purchase, how much of a mortgage you can afford, including your common charges, and that'll help guide you in terms of what buildings and what apartment size and what kind of lifestyle you can have in New York City. Now, the fourth step is to understand your top level criteria. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, in New York City, you can't just go into any building and purchase, because you may not meet the criteria to purchase into that building, especially if you're buying a co-op. So you want to make sure that your criteria is going to match the building's criteria. For example, an example that I always use, you may be a parent buying for your child, or you may have gifted your child the down payment money. Not every building will allow that. Not every co-op will allow that. Condos usually don't matter that much, but co-ops may not allow that. So you want to make sure that that is in your criteria, that you have explained that criteria to your buyer's agent, so that they create a strategy to show you only buildings and units that meet all of those criteria. An easier one is pets. Not every building allows pets. So if you have a pet or intend on getting a pet, you'll want to look at buildings that allow pets. Some other requirements are financial requirements, like a debt to income ratio or a certain amount of liquidity sitting in the bank at the time of closing. So if you don't have all of that prepared in your financial profile, you're not going to have a clear understanding of what buildings you should be looking at or what buildings you can purchase into. Then beyond that, you want to have your must-have list and your okay not to have list. So for example, laundry. It sounds like a very simple thing in other parts of the US, but in New York City, laundry in the unit is a luxury. So will you be okay to have a unit without laundry in it? Will you be okay to have a building with laundry in it? Or are you okay not to have laundry in the building and to send your laundry out? Another key question is, do you need an elevator building, or are you okay with a walk-up building? Is being on the 6th floor of a walk-up okay, or do you not want to climb any more than 2 flights of stairs? All of these things are extremely important in New York City, because it is often a challenge for a buyer to balance out the financial criteria and the criteria of buying into a building versus the criteria of what they want in an apartment and a home. And often those go like this. They just kind of go back and forth, which brings us to our final step, and that is be willing to manage your expectations. When buyers are shopping in New York City, there's almost always compromises to be made, and that happens at every price point, believe it or not. If you're spending $2 million, you may not get that second bathroom or something that you were really hoping to see in the market, depending on what prices are doing in the market at that time. If you're spending $15 million, it might not be the size that you want or have certain amenities that you were hoping to have. There are always going to be compromises at every price point. So what you need to do is help yourself out by working with your buyer's agent to manage the expectations of what your price point looks like. So at $750,000 in certain neighborhoods, will that get you a studio, or will it get you a 1-bedroom or maybe a small 2-bedroom? What neighborhoods should you look at versus what neighborhoods are you wanting to look in, and adjusting the price and the size expectations expectation accordingly. Again, always a compromise when looking in New York City, so it helps for you to manage your expectations, because if you have unrealistic expectations, you probably are not going to find that needle in a haystack in New York City. So there you have it. Those are the top 5 things that you need to consider doing before you even go shopping in New York City. And I can almost guarantee that if you do these things, you will have a better transaction and an easier experience than people who are trying to go it on their own in a very complicated and very unique market. So I hope this was helpful. Once again, I'm Dewey Moss. I'm your New York City real estate resource. Please take a moment to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button, and I'll see you next time.